meaning we study the Dhamma too much, then we apply the Dhamma to the another side. Especially in wisdom we trust, in trust we serve in our society, not only in the Thailand, but also in the world. We have philosophers for offering the Buddhist education, integrating the Buddha with the modern science and apply to the society and mental development. This is the philosophy of our university. Actually, to provide Thai studies and higher education for monks, novice, and layman persons. Today, welcome the professor students in Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University and university in the world, especially coordinate social network from Indian University, Sri Lanka University, and Norway country from European country come to join us also. Today, 9 October 2022, International Conference on Buddhist Psychology for Education Self-Development, organized by Master Education Program, Department of Education Psychology, Faculty of Education, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. Welcome all of you today. For schedule, we will start from invite the chief guest ceremonies, display the Buddha, the Dhamma, the gems, and open ceremonies talk about the Buddhist psychologies. It means how we can apply the Dhamma taught by the Buddha in Buddhist psychology to the develop ourselves by Associate Professor Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro, the Vice-Rector for Academics Affairs, MCU, Thailand. Then we welcome guest of honor, Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong Associate Professor and the Writer of the School in Buddhist Psychology, Department in Faculty of Humanities, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University also. Then we welcome special guest, Venerable Kotiyagala Uparatana Thero. He is the of Pali Buddhism and Pali University of Sri Lanka. And today we are very proud to introduce the keynote speaker, Venerable Dr. Arya Ratana. Nowadays, he is the visiting lecturer, Faculty of Buddhism in Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University also. Then we so thank you, Dr. Punni Pansa, award of thank you for the sections. He is the assistant professor, assistant to the Vice-Rector of Foreign Affairs in Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. Also, I am Paracharawit Pipanyo, Assistant Professor and Vice-Rector, Master of Education, Faculty of Education, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, Governor and Coordinator today. For right now, we would like to invite the guest honor, chief guest, Associate Professor, Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro, the Vice-Rector of Academic Affairs, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, to pay homage nowadays. Please welcome most venerable.
Next, please chant together. Rahang Samma.
Maybe I'm not hear sound from verbal.
Do you hear me? Everyone, do you hear me?
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, ได้ยินใช่ไหมครับ
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิ สวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
So very thankful of the Venerable Associate Professor, Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro is Director of the Vice-Rector of for Academics Affairs, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. I would like to invite the chief guest today because of the Venerable. He has so many experience about the Dharma taught by the Buddha, especially application promote the Buddhism in the world. Especially he is the very experienced about the apply the Dharma taught by the Buddha to the another side. Especially he studied completed PhD in our university, Buddhist subjects. Very interested about the research thesis. He studied about the influence of the Taoist on Zen Buddhism and principle of interpretations in Buddhism. Social side of the Buddhist interpretations, Buddhist literature in the modern society, social side or modern societies. Especially if you are reading the papers or articles on internet, you have to see interpretations of the Buddhism in China, in Mongolia, in Japan. So many articles right from the Venerable. Okay, today may I invite the Venerable chief guest to speak about the Buddhist psychologies for education or for self-development by Buddhist concept. Please, Venerable.
Okay, so Venerable Phra Palat Sorawit Apipanyo, Assistant Professor, Lecturer of Department of Educational Psychology and Guidance, Faculty of Education, MCU. Venerable monks, distinguished guests, psychologists, scholar, psychological scholar, and Buddhist scholar, and all participants. Welcome to the conference, International Conference on Buddhist Psychology for Education, Self-Development. Today I am very pleased, I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me and introducing me. As you know, today the topic for international conference is Buddhist Psychology for Education. That means colon self-development. That means is a special psychology or apply psychology for education. Psychology here we mean Buddhist psychology. So the question, I think today I'm invited to give a lecture, a speech, opening speech. I have about 10 minutes, 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Right, Venerable Sorawit?
Yes.
About 20 minutes, right?
Sure, that's
so the
right.
question, I will try to give you like a keynote speech about Buddhist psychology. What we call Buddhist psychology, that can be applied for education, especially self-development. Is it the main theme or main question that we try to answer in this international conference? Let me show you my PowerPoint. Okay. Today I will speak my speech and just touch the idea, some idea of Buddhist psychology that I think is very important. Buddhism and psychology. When we talk about psychology, right, and Buddhism, what Buddhism study, what psychology try to study. Buddhism and psychology have many things similar. Both try to understand human being. The question like, why we do what we do, why we do as we do. We try to understand, to explain why we do what we do, why we behave what we behave. ทำไมเราถึงทำสิ่งที่เราทำ ทำไมถึงประพฤติในสิ่งที่เราประพฤติ This is the main question that Buddhism try to understand and psychology try to understand. In answering this question, both study human being in terms of behavior, in terms of their mind, behavior, emotion, perception, and so on. It is the topic or the point that psychology try to understand, to answer the question why we do what we do, why we behave what we behave. Buddhism is human-centered religion or humanistic Buddhism. Like in China, in Chinese we say 人见佛教, right? 人见佛教, humanistic Buddhism. What the Buddha taught is nothing but human being. The Buddha teach nothing but human being. So human being is the center of the Buddha teaching. So Buddhism try to understand human being so that we can develop them, so that we can upgrade them, develop them to the higher happiness, that is Nibbana. Okay. So because as a human-centered religion, Buddhism try to understand human being by analyzing or reducing their life, human life, into the 5 components or name and form, nama rupa, name and form. The matter form. The matter is a physical component or material component. Feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, mental formation, sankhara, and consciousness. These are the mental component, immaterial component. So the 5 components can be concluded into the 2 main components. That's the name and form, nama rupa. Right? This is what we call human being, that Buddhism try to understand the nature of human life, the nature of human life, so that when we understand the nature of human life, we can manage human life. We can develop or we can cultivate human life to be happy, to attain the highest knowledge according to Buddhism. This is the structure, the component of human life. Our life consists of the 5 components, as I said already: form, feeling, vedana, perception, sanya, mental formation, sankhara, and consciousness, vinyana, or mind. This is what we have in our life. The panchakhanda, right? Or the 5 aggregate, 5 components. Our life consist of these 5 aggregate of 5 components. Nothing more than this. Nothing more than this. So, after understanding the nature of human life, the Buddhism put emphasis on human mind, the leading factor or the leading component in our life. Among these 5 components, Buddhism holds that human mind and consciousness play a very important, vital role as the leading factor. As the Buddha said in Pali, Chittena niyati loko. The world is led around by mind. โลกอันจิตย่อมนำไป The world is led around by mind. So our mind is very important. This is the focus of Buddhist teaching. Same in psychology. The focus of psychology is human mind. For example, psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud, right? The theory of psychoanalysis try to understand human mind so that we can answer the question why we do what we do. Or in the other Pali words, Manopupankama Dhamma, on mental factor, have mind as their forerunner or have mind as their leader. So the mind is very important in Buddhism. As leading factor, the mind can bring us both suffering and happiness. Our mind can bring us suffering and happiness in daily life. If we can train our mind can bring happiness. If we do not control our mind or develop our mind, the mind can bring us suffering or stress. As the Buddha said, Chittang kuttang, chittang thantang sukhavaham. Chittang thantang sukhavaham. The well-trained mind, the well-trained or the well-developed mind brings happiness. So our happiness or suffering depend on our mind. The answer comes from our mind. Your happiness or your suffering come from your mind. If you can control your mind or develop your mind, that is the way leading to happiness or leading to the cessation of suffering. Okay, before developing our mind, we should know the nature of our mind. The nature of our mind. Buddhism holds that human mind is pure by nature. Pakati citta or papassala citta. In Thai, papassala. Pure by nature. Its impurity or ความเศร้าหมอง impurity. It just incoming defilement, akhantuka. Incoming defilement, akhantuka kilesa. Incoming defilement. Incoming defilement or kilesa is not the nature of our mind. The purity is the nature of our mind, not impurity. So as the Buddha said, Papassala mitang bhikkhave cittang tanjako akhantukehi upakilesehi upakilithang. Luminous monks is the mind, and it is defined by incoming defilements. ดูก่อนภิกษุทั้งหลายจิตนี้เป็นประภัสสร luminous แต่จิตนี้เศร้าหมองแล้วเพราะอุปกิเลสที่จรมา This is the translation in Thai. Okay. For self-development, the sub-theme of this international conference, Buddhist Psychology, self-development. Let me talk about the concept of self-development in Buddhism. Buddhism hold that the noble man, the man can be developed until they attain the final, the highest goal, that is PaliNibbana. Everyone has potentiality to develop themselves to the highest goal, that is Nibbana. Right. Like the Buddha said, Tanto Setho Manusesu. Tanto Setho Manusesu. Of man, of human beings, among the human beings, the one who develop themselves and the one who develop himself is the best, the noble man ในบรรดามนุษย์ทั้งหลายผู้ที่พัฒนาตนแล้วเป็นผู้ประเสริฐ not everyone noble. Someone said, like Thai people say that, like saying that human is noble man. Human is noble, and this means everyone is noble. But in Buddhism, not say like this. But the Buddha said, among human beings, the one who has developed themselves, the one who has developed oneself, is the noble one. ในบรรดามนุษย์ทั้งหลายผู้ที่ฝึกฝนพัฒนาตนแล้วนั่นแหละเป็นคนประเสริฐแต่คนที่ยังไม่ฝึกก็เป็นคนไม่ประเสริฐ So to develop oneself or self-development, the Buddhism propose what we call Buddhist holistic self-development. การพัฒนาตนเองแบบองค์รวม holistic self-development. That means we should develop on aspect of human life, on domain, on dimension of human life. According to Buddhism, the domain or the dimension that we should be developed in human life divided into four aspects or four dimensions, four domain. That is Kaya Bhavana. I think very similar to the educational psychology, philosophy of education, in philosophy of education, or even psychological education, psychology of education, right? We accept that human life on aspect of on domain of human life should be developed. That is the in Buddhism same very similar. We said the full to fulfill human being, to fulfill to develop human life, to fulfill of human life. We should develop what physical development or Kaya Bhavana, physical development. We can develop Kaya the body and external behavior like a bodily action and verbal action, Kaya Kamma Vajjikamma, by Sila for development, physical development. And the second dimension, Sila Bhavana, social development. What is social development? Social development is how to relate, how to act, or how to behave in society, how to live peacefully or coexisting with the other people in society. How to live in society. We should develop the characteristic of the student so that we can live in the multicultural society, right? Especially digital society nowadays. we live in the social environment with multicultural environment, okay, or even the different kind of value, social value. So to have characteristic that we can live in society with different background, different culture, different value, we should develop. The students should be developed the what we call social development or sila bhavana in Buddhism. And the third one, citta bhavana, mental or emotional development. Yeah, emotional development is very important. We mentioned this subject, this topic widely in the present society, especially what we call emotional intelligence, right? Emotional intelligence. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of emotional or mental development or citta bhavana. For example, when we practice meditation, calmness meditation, samatha meditation, or vipassana meditation, one characteristic of human being that is emotional development. For example, when we the one who practice meditation, we have the emotional strength. For example, the loving kindness, compassion, concentration, right? This is what we call emotional maturity or leadership, you can say like that. Very important. Yeah, you can see in the virtue of the Buddha or characteristic of the Buddha, three main characteristics or virtue of the Buddha. That is karuna, compassion. The Buddha has karuna, compassion, and panya, wisdom, and also visuddhi, purity, right? This is a show the Buddha is the one who has developed the holistic self-development, right? And the last one, panya bhavana, intellectual development or wisdom development. Panya in Buddhism is not just panya come from reading or studying, but is it the panya or wisdom come from direct experiences or direct knowledge, direct experience from vipassana meditation, not from reading book, not on study or other activity. But panya in Buddhism, when we have panya, our mind can be purified, right? Our mind will be upgraded. Panya here means the panya that understand or realize the reality of one life, human life, and world. You understand everything as it really is. This is the panya in Buddhism. This is what we call the Buddhist holistic self-development that I think very important. So in conclusion, I take now, I think 20 minutes already. Okay, in conclusion, let me say that. The question that why we do what we do, why we behave what we behave, that question by Buddhism and psychology, modern psychology. Buddhism try to answer this question by try to understand human life, both physical component and mental component. And then Buddhism present the way to develop human life by practicing the meditation. That is a samatha, calmness meditation, and vipassana meditation. So this is my opening speech, right? It's like a keynote speech. Thank you so much for inviting me. Venerable.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So, very interested about the Buddhist psychology for education. Speech by the Associate Professor Dr. Phramaha Vuddhikaro, who is the Vice-Rector, Academics of Phra, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. We speak very short words, but very important. If we control our minds, we can get the happiness. It's very short word, but very important for you. Okay, the next, I would like to invite the next program for Associate Professor Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong, guest of the honor today. For Associate Professor Siriwat Srikhruedong, he is the Director of Graduate School in the Buddhist Psychology programs, and also he is the Deputy Dean Humanities Faculty, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University too. Today he come to join our application room already. Please welcome Associate Professor to speak.
Thank you for inviting me to join this program. Respect to Dr. Professor, Assistant Professor Dr. Phramaha Somboon, Vuddhikaro, and Assistant Professor Dr. Solowit, and everyone. I may be happy today to meet everyone. So I don't know how to say something because Dr. Phramaha Somboon is very good and important. But so some short thing in Buddhist in psychology for self-development. Only keyword is we have to understand. Buddhist means knowing, working, and happy or reality. Means is the keyword we have to know and how to develop ourselves to knowledge and know. If you want to develop ourselves, we have to develop to knowledge. Look like Buddha, รู้ตื่นเบิกบาน like that. And so I think it's important is keyword. We have to study psychology. Psychology in meaning of psychology means we have to study in behavior to the man or human. That's so how to development human and anyone in the world. But now I would like to advise my friend, Dr. Pijawut, term Siriwat, he will like to say in English more than this word. I would like him to say in English. Please, Dr. Pijawut, let you join us. Yes. Can you open that?
Maybe
Dr. Solowit,
I will
open for him.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, my professor, Assistant Professor Dr. Siriwat Nakap. I'm honored to be with you. It's my utmost honor and distinct pleasure to be with all of you today. As a student of Professor Siriwat Srikhruedong, I am the PhD student in Buddhist psychology. He has asked me to share a few words about what it's like being a Buddhist psychology. To me, it's a science of understanding oneself. And as a student in Buddhist psychology, we are learned of the typical schools of thoughts in psychology, such as Abraham Maslow, self-actualization model, or Carl Rogers, a client-centered psychology. But more than that, more than what we learned here at Mahachulalongkorn University, we are taught the psychology based on Buddha's knowledge, Buddha's enlightenment. This is something that nobody in the world has given me opportunity to learn, except at Mahachulalongkorn University. What it means is that I am able to apply what my personal knowledge in Buddhism of my practice with the knowledge with the pariyatti knowledge of the theoretical knowledge in Trisikha, which consists of sila, samadhi, and panya. Sila is precepts based on morality. It's something that is a foundation of being a good person, of being a enlightened person. Samadhi is this concentration, the power of mind to be able to concentrate, and panya through vipassana to the insightful meditation. I've learned the wisdom through personal experience to understand and experience the truth of anicca, of impermanence, dukkha, the state of suffering, and anatta, the state of non-self. This is the opportunity for me to also apply the theoretical knowledge and put it to practice daily, and also to attain the pariyat padibat pativet is outcome focus. And as a student in Buddhist psychology, I'm most honored to learn. And to me, Buddhist psychology or Buddhist, what I've learned, the concept is in education is itibatsi. It's a path of accomplishment that consists of 4 things I've used in my education as a physician, as a doctor in neurology, as a chiropractor. I've learned that itibatsi in education consists of chanta, viriya, citta, vimamsa. Chanta is aspiration, because somebody to learn, you have to have the aspiration to want to learn. Viriya is perseverance. It's something that we must continue to pursue, persevere, to try over and over again. Citta is a thoughtfulness, it's ability to concentrate the task at hand so that we can not making too many mistakes. And vimamsa is contemplative self-examination. This is always something that at the back of my mind as I study. So I feel that in Buddhist psychology, we are taught by the best of both worlds, both the Western school of thoughts in psychology and the wisdom of Buddha applied to help somebody, or our friends, our people in society to solve their problem, which is to end the suffering. And if we do it right, correctly, that can help the society and elevate the level of consciousness into a higher level. So I thank you, my good professor, Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong, to give me an opportunity to share a personal experience. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pijawut Sriwat. Thank you, sir. I would like to concern to Phomadit. He said, in Buddhist psychology, it means theory, practice, and outcome, like that. You know, Dr. Salawit, theory, we have to know what pariyat padibat padivet, like that. It is Buddhist psychology. Okay, today we have to join by this short time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The boss aspirant to join about the self-developments by Buddhist concept, especially Dr. Pijawut. We talk about the process of development by Buddhist concept, moralities, concentrations, and wisdom. So many importance for develop ourselves by educations. Thank you very much again, the both participant. Next, we would like to invite the special guest from Sri Lanka. He is the head of department, Bali Buddhism and Bali University of Sri Lanka nowadays. He come to join our conference also. Welcome, Venerable Dr. Kotiyagala Uparatana Thero, come to join us about the education for a Buddhist concept. Please, Venerable. You can join.
Bhante, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Sure. You will share some PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, that's okay, Bhante.
Okay. Agree already.
Tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Most venerable sirs and every scholars, most welcome to participate this event and international webinar, psychology education webinar. So today I am going to discuss distinctive features of Buddhist psychology and Buddhist education. I am Dr. Kotiyagala Uparatana, Senior Lecturer and Head of Department, Pali, Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka, Pittipan Town, Homagam. Psychology is the study of human behavior according to human mind. Psychology, psyche, spirit and spiritually. Logos, education or psychology also. Psychology is shared out as a study of the mind and is a broad subject area that studies human behavior in modern times. This one actually we know already. Sigmund Freud have say like that: upper mind, consciousness; lower mind, unconsciousness; middle mind, subconsciousness. Like that. This one actually already we know. So I no need give meaning and discuss about this one. I am going to discuss actually Buddhist philosophy and psychology. The main objective of psychology in Buddhist philosophy, the nature of the world, the mind, and the reality of the spiritually developed transcendental mind are explained occasionally. The presence of an educational process in learning. It is meaningful by Sikha. Sikha is educational process of learning, practice, instruction, realization, development, understanding, develop moral discipline, spiritual. Give me 1 second. I want to take this one full screen. Yes, okay. Yeah. Sikha is the educational process of learning, practice, instruction, realization, development, understanding, develop moral discipline, spiritual integration, knowledge. Sikha pada, education. That's one actually this word, Pali word. My main subject also Pali. So Buddhism and another scholars also know about Pali language actually, because most people participated here. Everybody is Buddhist, so everybody know Pali. Actually, I know about Thailand. Sikha pada, educational system. Seka patipada or educational system, continual education. Anupubba Sikha, regular practice. Anupubba Kiriya, regular performance. Anupubba Patipada, regular development. The aspiration here is to develop a complete knowledge and moral conduct and attain absolute happiness. The role of a person on the development and success of Buddhist education. The complete classical edification or pariyatti of Buddha's teaching tradition. The application or practice or patipatti of making sense in the system of theoretical teachings learned from academic education and memory. Understand of reality, receiving realization or pativeda. According to the Buddhist educational ideal, a student is created as a student until he attains moral perfection, Sekha. After attaining Cheto Vimutti, Panya Vimutti, with inhibition, Nirodha, after the student attains fullness, the Sekha student, person get rid of the studentship and becomes Sekha. According to the Buddhist educational system, the highest level of education activity aims at the maximum value of individual life. Getting to fullness in education is a lasting term, continuous process. There are no shortcuts. Step by step should come from bottom to top. Engaging students in moral, intellectual and spiritual education, giving priority to wisdom. Power of wisdom is the greatest one amidst of powers of body power, wealth power, and power of escort, power of tribe, and power of wisdom. The highest development is wisdom development amidst relationship, wealth, reputation, and wisdom. The eye of wisdom is great among three eyes of flesh eyes: divine eye and eye of wisdom. After becoming polyphonic, creating success in both sides. Bahu Satchancha Sippancha. He is the one who renounces what should be reproached, what should be mastered, and what should be praised, building a complete personality through decorumic education based on morality. Giving Buddhist education through monasteries, becoming the enter of culture and education beyond the abundance of practice of meditation. Student is Brahma Charya, noble behavior. Educate under two teachers, Acharya, Upadhyaya. The education is given by the teacher. Father and son's relationship are interrelated. Regarding Dharma doctrine, the Vinaya discipline as the teacher. The teacher and student have same responsibilities. Learning and teaching should be done everyone. Should learn before the teacher teaches. Teacher teaches. Should be able with disciplines. Should be teach others after the education. Education should be done in oral communication. Listening to the student and paraphrasing, giving opportunity to learn and language once more language. Anujanam bhikkhave sakaya niruttya buddha vachanam pariya punitum. Using various methods on giving education. Step method, example method. Giving learning responsibility to the person. Giving the priority to mind. Considering the education as the performance which carries from being to being. Giving the priority, give me 1 second. Giving the priority to independent thinking and reference in the learning and teaching process. Imparting education without the teachers first or part. According to the early Buddhism, education is to understand and truth by studying the books and identifying the principles that are helpful for understand the truth from Alagattuma Sutta. The student is the center of the educational process. May the Noble Triple Gem bless you. Thank you so much. Invite for this international webinar. Again and again, thank you so much, venerable sirs and scholars participated for this international webinar and this moment. Thank you so much. Triple Gem bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. The most thank you, the venerable, our head department, Pali Buddhism and Bali University of Sri Lanka, Dr. Kotiyagala Uparatana Thero, who speaks about how we can develop ourselves by Buddhist concept. You talk about the responsibility for study or for learnings. Teacher and students both responsibility to learn each other is very important. And also you talk about the process of study with Buddhist concept, Pariyat Patipat Pativet, Pariyat Patipat Pativet. According to the United States, we talk about the 4 pillars of educations. We have to study to know, we have to study or learn to do, and we have to learn to live together, and last, we have to learn to be good person or happy person. This is a comparative of variable talk about the process of education. Pariyat. Pariyat is mean learning to know, and patibat. learning to do and learning to live together. And last, Pativet. Pativet means learning to be happy person or good person in our society. This is very important to compare this of the formula of education according to United States. Okay, so thank you very much again, Verbal. The next we glad to introduce the keynote speaker for today. He is the visiting lecturer of Buddhism faculties in Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya Buddhist University, our university today. Warm welcome, Venerable Dr. Riya Ratana to a keynote speaker for today about the Buddhist psychology educations for self-development by Thailand. Please welcome, Venerable.
Good afternoon, everyone. Most respected, Venerable Associate Professor Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro, the Vice-Rector for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Graduate School of Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. He's been presided as a chief guest of this conference. Most respected Venerable Associate Professor Dr. Phra Rajasutaphorn, the Dean of the Faculty of Education of MCU. I'm very glad to mention here that our most venerable Assistant Professor Dr. Phra Soravit Apipanyo, Director of the Master of Arts Program, Faculty of Education, and the key coordinator of this appreciated academic conference. Also, I would like to mention here that our Sri Lankan scholars, respected Venerable Dr. Kotiyagala Uparatana, Head of the Department of the Pali and Buddhist Studies, Department of the Pali and Buddhist Studies, University of the Buddhist and Pali of Sri Lanka, and Venerable Dr. Kandegama Deepawansalankara, Lecturer of the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies of the Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka, and Associate Professor Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Humanities of Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, and Assistant Professor Dr. Bombi Pansa, Assistant to the Vice-Rector for Foreign Affairs of Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, Executives of MCU, Honorable Lecturers, distinguished guests, dear students and friends in the Dhamma. It is my great honor and privilege to be a part of this international conference, which has been well arranged under the theme of the Buddhist Psychology for Education by the organizing committee, the Master of Education Program in Education Psychology and Guidance, Faculty of Education of Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. According to the schematized, well-prepared scheme of the conference, that it has been selected the title, the keynote speech, as follows: Buddhist psychological viewpoints of positive thinking. As you know that the Buddhism is a profound philosophy and path, exposition of reality, which pragmatically and objectively deals with various subjects related to the mundane life and supramundane life. In other words, the teaching of the Buddha, which encompasses the fundamental principle of truths in unconventional and ultimate aspects of leading to the most sublime virtue and the ultimate freedom. The purpose and the universality of the Dhamma are well expressed in the following verse of the Dhammapada. It is the most famous quotation, Sabba Papasa Akaranam, Kusalasa Upasampada, Sachitta Pariyodapanam Etam Buddhan Sasana. According to this meaning of this, to cease from evil means that to avoid, to abandon unwholesome deeds and to do what is good, to cultivate the wholesome deed. The purification of the mind is the most important thing that you have to observe. This is the advice of the Buddhas. Actually, the Buddhist teaching, which is explained the reality or real conditions and the way of life in the human being as well as in the world. As you know that the great teaching, Dhamma, is the timeless law which reveals reality, truth, and righteousness merged into a conceptual expression of ethical, spiritual teachings that leads to the noble attainment of Nibbana within this very life or next life. Actually, according to the Tipitaka, where is the place that the teaching of the Buddha has been recorded, the Tipitaka, especially according to the Sutta Pitaka, suttas like Samanyapala, Mahali of the Diganikaya, Sabbasava, Kandaraka, Arya Pariyeshana, Attaka, Nagara, Jana Sanyutta of the Sanyutta Nikaya, Mahasatipattana Sutta, and the Satipatthana Sutta. Also Dhammasangani and Vibhanga of the Abhidhamma Pitaka, and commentaries like Visuddhimagga, Attasalani. The rudimentary meaning of mental positivity, positive thinking, and awareness of mind states as a whole can be rendered as the development of spiritual qualities or wholesome potentialities or development of wholesome mental qualities. According to the Sabbasa Sutta and the Samvara Sutta, mental illness and attitude of mental diseases, well defined, and advance of spiritual qualities or wholesome potentialities. As we know that the Satta Bojjhanga and mental status defined in suttas and commentaries, which related to the Buddhist psychology especially, and its profundity is found only practice of Buddhism or Buddhist teaching. And we know that when we study Buddhist psychology, mainly we should have to study, understand, aware of the human mind. And how about the condition of the mind or appearance of the mind, behavior of the mind. The Buddhism explained that the concept or point of view of the mind in the Chittavagga of the Dhammapada clearly. Pandanam chapalam chittam duraktam dunnivarayam ujum karoti medavi usukarova tejana. Pandana means that chapala, fickle. It is the appearance of condition of status of the behavior of the mind that which that has explained profoundly in the Dhammapada, especially Chittavagga. Vari jova tale gito oka mokata ubbato. Like a fish thrown on the ground, brought out from its watery home. That's the appearance of the mind. There is no any place or particular shape for the mind. Is explained in the Dhammapada further. Durangamang ekachara asarirang guhasaya. Durangama travels far. Mind can go fastly. Changing is connected in all ways. And asarira, formless, bodiless. Chittan dantan sukavaham. The mind, this kind of mind, if someone is able to control, able to aware, able to understand, then the person who is able to understand clearly of the behavior of the mind will be able to observe, attain, receive happiness. The Buddhism clearly explained this appearance of the mind further, especially in the Anguttara Nikaya, Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kamma Vadami Chetayitva Kamma Karoti Kayena Vachaya Manasa. This is the operation of the sensation behavior. That is that mostly support to understand clearly. This is the base form of explanation of the feature of the appearance of the mind. In this way, in this manner, Buddhism gave the responsibility to the human being or the person. Attahi attano nato kohinato parosya. Further discuss about the person which related to the mind and his behavior in the Dhammapada. Selflessness is the Lord of self. Or who else could be the Lord? If self-help subdued, a man finds Lord who is difficult to obtain. And the teaching of the Buddhism through the psychological basis, there are so many mental diseases which are interpreted in the Sutta Pitaka. When we consider that the Vattopama Sutta, simile of the cloth, which explains how to abandon impurity to purity by giving list of moral impurities or parts of the impurities or classification of the impurities of the mind. There are 16 parts. In the Vatupama Sutta, covetousness, and this is appearance of the unrighteous greed and ill will, vyapada, anger, krodha, hostility, upanaha, denigration, makha, etc. There are so many meaningful, useful explanation in the teaching of the Buddhism. We can see defilements and 5 hindrances which make the mind or behavior of the mind on the way of the unwholesome, to create the unwholesome mindset. So that's why this kind of mental behavior helps to create negativity, negative things of the human being. And so far we can see that the akusala, unwholesome factors also make the mind impurity. Akusala, based on the 3 roots, greed, hatred, and delusion, that those roots, if arise one's mind, they destroy the positive manner of thinking. And we can see Roga Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya. There are so many explanations, such especially Vitaka Santana Sutta, Salleka Sutta, and Anuman Sutta. And here we can consider the methodology to apply, overcome mental disorders which destroy the positive mindset. 3 main methods that one has to apply in order to get rid of mental problems. Identification, clear identification is most important thing to solve the problem, especially cause of the problem. And secondly, the abandoning of causes of the problem. And then the development of positive mental aspect that is supposed to support to abandoning negative mental aspects and contribute the development of the mind or positive mindset. We can see mental health actually in the psychological basis, physical and verbal or mental healthiness is most important to build up, to foster one's wholesome positivity. And according to the explanation of the citation of the Dhammapada, Arogya Parama Labha Santutti Paramandana. Health is the greatest of gift. Contentment is the greatest wealth. This is the one of the main teachings which refer to the healthiness of the mind or human being. In this way, Buddhist meditation also we have to be discussed further to develop the positive mindset of the being. And in briefly, we can see that there are two kinds of meditation practices according to the Buddhism: samatha and vipassana. Concentration meditation and vipassana means insight meditation. The meditation plays a vital role in order to develop the positive mind skill. In the Abhidhamma Vibhavani Tika, explained that the Bhaveti Kusala Dhammi Asevati Vatti Jetayati Bhavana. This is the cultivation of the mind, cultivation of the wholesome deeds, which helps to achieve the final goal of the Buddhism. In this way, we can see when he wants to develop positive mindset, the person build up positively his attitude. When they have the good positive attitude, then that is the foundation to develop skill. When someone has his skill set, ability to communicate, to carry on activities on the positive basis, then can be applied to develop knowledge. In this way, we can say attitude represent the morality, sila, the skill, represent the concentration, and knowledge represent the wisdom. Having a positive attitude means being optimistic about situations, interactions, and yourself. So this is most important teaching, most valuable practical teaching to apply to develop positive mindset. In conclusion, we can see the above explanation which refers to the positive thinking and psychological facts according to the Buddhist teaching, which is in vogue today as a modern concept as gaining much currency because its efficacy in leading a successful way of life. It advocates us as to hunt for our goals and reach at them at any cost. If the end is good, it is immaterial whether the means is good or bad. But the Buddhist teaching, contrary to that popular view, teaches us, interprets us that it is imperative to be good, both the means and the end. It should be in tune with loving kindness, compassion, and equanimity. The Buddhism, while teaching us to reach at our desired worldly objectives within the positive mentality by proper means, it highlights the much needed spiritual development going on par with the materialistic progress, which is sustainable also the Buddhism. In order to have an access to supermundane existence, it is necessary to annihilate all sorts of impurities like defilements, intoxicants, fetters, lust, ignorance, infatuations, and so to witness the dawn of Nibbana, the upper plane of the positive thinking. And here we can see the Buddhist perspective for according to our topic. Buddhist both positive thinking and psychological facts in Buddhism. Actually, Buddhist psychology provides huge vacuum in order to the self-development, which is more useful, valuable to foster, develop the spiritual path, spiritual life, even to develop day-to-day lifestyles of the human being. So, as a keynote speech today, here we can express that the Buddhist psychology is the most valuable field to study, because which helps to develop our mindset, positive mindset. And I think this is most valuable, practical, useful approach to have the successful life or stage of life. Thank you very much, your kindness, and I would like to thank the organizing committee, especially most respected Venerable Assistant Professor Dr. Phra, who gave the more valuable contributions to have successful conference. So especially my gratitude goes to the organizing committee of the Buddhist Psychology, for organizing committee of the Master of Education program in Education Psychology and Guidance, Faculty of Education of MCU. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rajasutaphorn. In keynote speak, our topics today is I'm very surprised you can share and share our idea about how we can develop ourselves by Buddhist concept. You talk about Bali Bhasa or Bali language, Sappapa Pasa Akaranang, Kusala Supa Sampatha Satita Pariyothapanang. It means not to do any evils, then to be good, to do good or to do well, then last to purify the mind. This is the point, the Ovata Patimok, or the main point, the Dhamma taught by the Buddha. Then you talk about how we can improve, how we can develop ourselves by Buddhist concept. You talk about the concentrate meditations in Buddhist, and inside meditations, we can say samatha and vipassana meditations. Okay, today, so thank you very much for your show and share our topics today, psychologists, educations for Buddhist psychologists for educations today, especially positive thinkings. This is very important, the point for study more about the Buddhist positive thinking, because of the Western of psychologists talk about the CBT. CBTs mean cognitive behavioral therapies. Cognitive behavioral therapies mean we have to train our human being by Samma Titti. Samma Titti means cognitive. If someone they have some attitude or thinking well or truths that they can act, they can do something good according to the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, to be good or to do well, last to purify the mind. Is the main point you are present. So thank you very much, Venerable. The last, I would like to invite the assistant professor in curriculum department, Faculty of Education, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya Buddhist University, and also he is the assistant to the rectors, to the Vice-Rectors for Foreign Affairs in Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. Also, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Bunmi Pansa to word of thanks. Please.
Okay. Respected the most venerable, the Associate Professor Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro, the Vice-Rector for Academic Affairs, MCU, who is the chief guest today. I am Assistant Professor Dr. Bunmi Pansa, Assistant to the Vice-Rector for Foreign Affairs. I'm the most honored to be the words of thanks for the International Conference on Buddhist Psychology today. On behalf of the organizer, MS program in Education Psychology and current Faculty of Education, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University, I would like to thank the chief guest, the most venerable Associate Professor Dr. Phramaha Somboon Vuddhikaro, the guest honor, the Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong, the special guest, the Venerable Dr. Kotiyagala Uparatana Thero, the keynote speaker, the Venerable Dr. Vilakamule Ariya Thana. I hope that all the participants will get the news knowledge from the International Conference on Buddhist Psychology today. Thank you, the participants who joined in the International Conference today. Thank you, the Assistant Professor Dr. Phala Soravit Apipanyo, who is the governor and coordinator today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Bunmi Pansa, the assistant to the Vice-Rectors Foreign Affairs, Mahachulalongkornrajavidyalaya University. Today, so very thankful for all of you to join our activities. I hope the next time we have to do like this for show, for cheer, and for share our idea about the topics, the next topics. I will invite the professor or who expert about the topics next time and invite to all of you to join our class again. So thank you very much, the Vice-Rector informations for promote our activity to many applications through TV, CBT MCU TV online and CBT TV, Facebook, YouTube, any applications. I would like to inform, advise you about the get a certificate. These functions we have to give all of you to join our activities today also. You can send your emails for staff our conference to give your certificates for join today's also. For the internet conference on Buddhist psychologists, we have to do some any topics So thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Siriwat Srikhruedong, for connecting students, PhD students in Buddhist psychology come to join our activities also. And so right now, I would like to invite Venerable Kotiyagala Uparatana Thero, who is the special guest for Vantana, the respect the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. Please, Venerable, if you are still in our applications, Zoom, please the head of the Vantana, the Triple Gems. Venerable Kotiyagala, you are inside? Can or not? Okay, right now, so very thankful all of you. We have to respect the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, Triple Gems together. Please welcome Arahang Tamma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavaṃ Abhivādemi Savakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammaṃ Namatssāmi Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅkhaṃ Namāmi. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, everyone. ขอบคุณทุกท่านนะเดี๋ยวเราจะมีเซอร์ติฟิเคทให้มีเกียรติบัตรให้แล้วก็จะมีฟังก์ชันเป็นโปรแกรม International Conference Webinar ซึ่งเป็นหัวข้อที่จะกำหนดขึ้นมาใหม่เดี๋ยวจะได้ประสานไปที่ท่านอาจารย์ศิริวัฒน์แล้วก็ทุกท่านได้รับทราบข้อมูลแล้วเราก็เข้ามาในกลุ่ม Line International Conference เป็นกลุ่ม Line เฉพาะนะเดี๋ยวจะส่งให้ทุกท่านจะได้แอดมาเป็นกลุ่ม Academic กันนะขอบคุณทุกท่านครับ